the girl accidentally traveled to the beast world in the game. Not only did she gain hundreds of billions of gold coins in her account, but she also won the hearts of the handsome golden lion Luca and the gentle fox Liberally. Evelina, can I be your mate? I want to take care of you forever. She was startled, trying to ask about Luca to change the subject, but Liberally didn't want to mention that scumbag anymore. He held her hand and led her to the most luxurious commercial district, ordering his men to clear the area. Then he took Evelina to buy clothes, even kneeling down to help her try on shoes. To thank him for his gifts, she pretended to be tired and took Liberally to have tea. In the restaurant, the man gently looked at Evelina. Can I take care of you? Ash, you've already done a lot. No, I want to be your mate. Evelina was so shocked that she knocked over her teacup. She stared at the man in front of her, not knowing how to respond. Don't feel pressured. I will submit the application, and no matter what you decide, you don't need to feel guilty. Evelina was very puzzled. Why do you want to be my mate? Because I've always liked you. But when Evelina asked what he liked about her, Liberally suddenly fell silent. He just thought Evelina was wonderful, with a gentleness different from other females. Upon learning she was pregnant with Luca's child, he inexplicably felt anger and jealousy. His emotions were stirred by a female for the first time. Most importantly, he wanted Evelina to bear his child. You're beautiful. I fell in love with you the first time I saw you. The word beautiful suddenly pierced Evelina's heart. So it's because I'm a female and I can bear children. Her obvious anger made Liberally pause, quickly trying to explain. But Evelina stood up and left directly. I'm sorry, I'm not considering finding a mate right now. Her steps quickened, and past memories kept surfacing. To send her brother to school, her parents forced her to marry a real estate developer's son. Even though she cried and said she didn't want to every day, her parents still accepted the betrothal gift. She seemed to be just a valuable commodity, and beauty had always been a disaster for her. Because of her beauty, she was isolated by her classmates, tagged with marriage, sold for a good price. Beauty was a disaster for her, and Liberally liked her because of that disaster. If he wanted to take care of her just because of her beauty, what would happen 10 years later? She kept running, 100 meters, 200 meters, until she reached a fountain, where she crouched down, hugging her knees and crying. When she was exhausted from crying, she looked up and saw a shadow on the ground in front of her. Luca was standing there without her knowing when. The two silently stared at each other from high and low. The next moment, her head felt heavy as Luca draped his military coat over her. Her small figure was completely covered. Now no one will see you. Cry if you want. Evelina grasped the coat, stunned. The next moment, tears streamed down even more uncontrollably. When she was alone, she might hold back, but gentle care always made her emotions collapse. Luca just stood there quietly, his eyes full of uncontrollable heartache. He habitually reached for a cigarette to ease his sorrow, but then remembered Evelina was pregnant. He turned around and threw the cigarette pack into the fountain. The splash caught Evelina's attention. What are you doing? I'm making a wish. I want to make a wish too. Luca searched all his pockets but found no coins. It's okay if you don't have any. But Luca solemnly removed a badge from his coat. Use this. Evelina immediately knew it was valuable and refused. Then I won't make a wish. Seeing her reluctance, Luca tossed one of his own badges into the fountain. Then he clasped his hands and closed his eyes to make a wish. Evelina curiously asked him what he wished for. Peace for the galaxy, he replied. His serious look amused her, but she still felt reluctant about the badge in her hand. Finally, she held it in her palm and made a silent wish. While her eyes were closed, Luca turned to look at her, his eyes showing a tenderness even he didn't notice. Finally, Evelina calmed down and turned to return the badge to Luca. Once you've made a wish, you should keep it. Then he picked her up and walked forward. I can walk by myself. The heels are a bit high. Next time, walk by yourself. They didn't speak again along the way. To break the awkward silence, she asked about her test results. Luca paused for a moment. You are an ancient human. Even though her identity was exposed, Evelina was surprisingly calm. What will you do with me? We won't harm you. Your appearance is a blessing to the Star Federation. Won't you take me to a lab to be dissected? That would be a serious crime, punishable by genetic eradication. Will someone lock me up for live broadcasts? Using ancient humans for illegal profit results in expulsion from the Federation. So I won't be kicked out of your residence? Luca's expression suddenly changed. Did someone do something to you? Evelina quickly waved her hand. No, I just feel like an outsider. I have no mental power, no talent, and can't calm any riot genes. That's exactly why you are precious. What you have, we don't. I swear on the honor of the Psychosis family, no one will harm you. Seeing his gentle expression, Evelina suddenly felt at ease. Soon she fell asleep in his arms. Meanwhile, Liberally was anxiously searching. Turning around, he saw Luca holding Evelina. Confirming she was safe, he sneered. Still looking to get beaten? You're already the princess's chosen one. You can't have it both ways. To avoid waking Evelina, Liberally kept his voice low. Luca didn't argue, gently handing her to Liberally. Did you tell her about the pregnancy? I need to arrange things with the royal family first. Indeed, this is a great humiliation for the royal family. It could hurt Evelina and implicate the entire Psychosis family. I understand. If you ask me, I suggest you just marry the princess. I'll take good care of Evelina and the child. Before he could finish, a strong killing intent choked his throat. I won't let my child be raised by another male, and I don't need you to play the good guy. So what are you going to do? Betray your family and break off the engagement with the princess? What was meant as a taunt met with Luca's determined gaze. gaze. Are you really planning to do this? Luca had always been the better of the two, the heir of the Psychosis family, never allowed to make mistakes. Even if she has your child, I won't let go. Is it because you truly want her? Or because you always want what I have? Liberly was momentarily speechless. Luca gently arranged Evelina's hair. Turning, his expression returned to its usual coldness, not sparing Liberly another glance. That night, Liberly stayed with Evelina until dawn, before leaving silently. Evelina, in her sleep, knew nothing. The next day, she woke up drowsy. After breakfast, she planned to pass time with her light brain. She suddenly discovered she had 1 million followers and an extra 1,000,000 star coins. It turned out that someone had taken photos of her during her hospital checkup and posted them online, causing a sensation. Her stunning appearance shook the entire Federation. To this day, her photo still topped the trending list, along with a picture of her medical report. As she tried to enlarge the image to see her condition, Liberly's call popped up on the light brain. Evelina, you're awake? Are you feeling unwell? The usual conversation, both tacitly avoiding yesterday's events. Ash, was it you who brought me back yesterday? Yes, why? I thought it was Luca. Liberly's voice paused. That guy said he had many things to deal with, so he dumped you on me. He emphasized the word dumped, which Evelina noticed. She simply replied, okay, and changed the subject, not mentioning Luca again. After ending the call, she tried to look at her medical report again, but a system error message appeared, and the trending news about her photo was removed. Evelina mumbled a bit but didn't think much of it, and went about her day. Meanwhile, at the Federation Investigation Bureau, Colonel Psychosis, if an ancient human is really living on our planet, why are we only being informed now? Luca, sitting with his hands clasped, exuded a powerful aura. Such important information had to be confirmed before reporting. An irrefutable reason. The higher-ups could only bring up the trending news. If an accident happens after exposure, the consequences are beyond our control. You will bear direct responsibility. Of course, it's my responsibility. Luca didn't make excuses. It was indeed his oversight. Fortunately, Liberly deleted the information and secured confidentiality promptly. Seeing this, the higher-ups didn't pursue further. Make arrangements with the Federation for a handover as soon as possible. Luca's eyes narrowed sharply. You can't take her. She has just adjusted to life in the mansion. Her mental and physical state isn't fit for relocation. You don't need to worry about that. We have already sent people to your mansion to ensure the ancient human lady is transferred to professionals. What professionals? The head of the Ancient Human Research Center, Dr. Munakata. Evelina was in the garden studying how to grow vegetables when a gust of wind blew her sun hat away. Looking up, she saw a huge spaceship hovering overhead. The servants quickly formed a human wall to protect her. Only the butler stood expressionless, a sinister smile on his lips. His suit vest pocket glowed with the light brain screen showing 37 missed calls, all from the master. Evelina, let me take you back inside. She nodded and turned, but the butler called out, Mr. Evan, is something wrong? They're from the Federation Investigation Bureau, requesting you go with them for protection. Evelina frowned. So suddenly? Yes, they said they informed the master. Luca agreed to let me go with them? Of course, the master is a colonel in the military. They would inform him first. No one wants to offend the Psychosis family. What if I don't go? Evan's sinister smile widened. The Federation's orders can't be disobeyed, even by the master. A blatant threat. Evelina responded with a naive smile. Then I'll pack a few things. Turning away, her expression became guarded. Unexpectedly, Evan blocked her way. Miss Evelina, do you have personal items? Just tell me, and I'll get them for you. She understood they wouldn't let her tip anyone off. Helpless, she smiled and listed a bunch of things to stall for time, until Evan's perfect smile cracked slightly. Remembered everything? It's a lot. How about I go with you? Evan immediately interrupted. Just wait here in the garden. Then he ordered the servants to pack and load her things onto the spaceship. While waiting, Evelina tried to use her light brain for emergency calls, but found the signal blocked. Thinking about it, the mansion had high security, signal jammers, and Evan's forceful attitude. All too coincidental. These people were definitely suspicious. She wanted the system to help, but the useless system claimed she wasn't in danger. Grinding her teeth, she kept thinking of an escape plan. Finally, as they were about to finish packing, a glimmer of hope appeared in her eyes. Evan started urging her to board the ship. I want to wait for Luca and thank him in person. A man stepped forward to explain, Colonel Psychosis is at the bureau. You can come with us now. You'll have a chance to see him later. Where are you taking me? To the Ancient Human Research Center. Dr. Munakata is waiting for you. It sounded harmless, but her instincts told her not to go. Evan urged again, Miss Evelina, have a safe trip. Out of excuses, she followed them to the elevator. As it ascended to the ship's entrance, she sighed and took a gamble. The next moment, she dashed out of the elevator, jumping from the high altitude. The system's prompt sounded again, detecting an emergency and activating passive skills. Meanwhile, above the sky, Luca's heart-wrenching scream echoed. In an instant, a huge golden lion leaped out of the escape hatch. In a flash, he appeared beside Evelina, holding her. Evan's eyes widened. Teleportation? When did the master awaken his talent? With a loud crash, the ground was smashed into a crater, with a giant lion lying inside. Evelina felt herself in a soft embrace. As she expected, the system activated passive skills in danger. The first passive skill was Scent. This time, it was a golden shield. The system wouldn't let her die. Her hand suddenly touched something furry. Curious, she wondered why there was a lion. And it seemed like she heard Luca's voice. Could this be Luca? At this moment, the huge lion lay motionless, seemingly lifeless.